we are discussing about the Java's built-in exception. So what is built-in exceptions in Java? Built-in exceptions are the exceptions which are available in Java libraries, or we can say that those exceptions which are already built in our Java program is known as Java built-in exceptions. These exceptions are suitable to explain certain error situations. Let's discuss about these built-in exception. First one is arithmetic exception. It is thrown when an exceptional condition has occurred in an arithmetic operation. Whenever an exception occurs in an arithmetic operation, that type of exception is known as arithmetic exception. Second is array index out of bound exception. It is thrown to indicate that an array has been accessed with an illegal index, or we can say that if the index is either greater than or equal to the size of the array, then we can say that it is array index out of bound exception. Class not found exception. This exception occurs when we try to access a class whose definition is not found. File not found exception, same as class not found. It is exception occurs when a file is not accessible or doesn't open. Next one is IO exception, that is input output exception. When an input output operation failed or interrupted, then that exception occurs. Interrupted exception, it is thrown when a thread is waiting, sleeping or doing some processing and it is interrupted. No such method exception is thrown when accessing a method which is not found. Null pointer exception. This exception is raised when referring to the members of a null object, that is null represents nothing. Number format exception means that if a method could not convert a string into a numeric format, then number format exception occurs. String index out of bound exception, same as array index of out of bound. If the index of an string is either negative or not the size of the string, then it is known as string index out of bound exception. Here are some other exceptions. Class cast exception. This is a runtime exception raised in Java when we try to improperly cast a class from one type to another type, and it is throws that indicate that this code has attempt to cast an object to a related class but of which it is not an instance. So when we try to improperly cast a class from one type to another type, then this type of exception occur in our program. Stack overflow error is an error which Java does not allow to catch. For instance, a stack running out of a space, as it's one of the most common runtime errors one can encounter. For example, memory out of leak exception. These all are stack overflow error in which a Java does not catch the stack, or we cannot assume that what are the error, like the memory error. We don't know what is the actual error occurs, and that's why we don't catch that type of error, and hence the stack overflow error is one of that kind of error. Next one is no class defined found error. Is an error that is thrown when the Java runtime system tries to load the definition of a class and that class definition is no longer available. The required class definition was present at compile time, but it was missing at runtime. Suppose during the compile time we found an error. We use a class and the class can run properly. But let's suppose this after run compilation, this class will be deleted, and then we execute it, and hence we cannot find that class. Then at that time this class no longer available, that is no class def found error occurs. An exception in initializer error is thrown to indicate that an exception occurred during the evaluation of a static initializer or the initializer from a static variable. An illegal argument exception is thrown in order to indicate that a method has passed an illegal argument. Means that if the argument of the method is not fulfilled or it is not same as the being defined, then at that time then illegal argument exceptions occurs. Illegal thread state exception is mostly occur during the thread or operation, and we if it is not an appropriate state for the requested operation, then illegal thread state exception occurs. So these are the some built-in exceptions which are available in Java library. Thank you.